When we think of home theaters, many of us have images of high-end MTV Cribs-style theater rooms, but that is just an extremely small percentage of recreational viewing spaces when you think of your own living room, family room, or rec room as your home theater, whichever room you primarily do your binging and movie watching in. In this video, I'm going to help you live your best home theater life or sports viewing life with some simple hacks and a big ticket purchase that will take your game to the next level. Let's get into it. Now, when we think of home theater components, we tend to first envision the perfect TV and sound system. And we have you covered with that here on the channel. We have TV reviews and soundbar reviews that you can look at already. So what I'm going to focus on is that vibe, the mood, or rather creating that perfect mood to enjoy your cinema. A complement to this video that you can watch to further your understanding and open your options is another video I did on smart plugs that I'll link to in the comments below. But for this video, I wanted to keep things simple and easily operable. For creating mood, I'm going to be focused on automating your lighting control. After all, one of the most important jobs of a cinematographer to create your most memorable film moments is how they choose to light a scene. Lighting often plays a key role in cinematic imagery, so let's complement that with how you light your home theater or gaming room. So let's talk about how to use smart home options by a manufacturer whose products are really versatile and work with a host of home assistants, Lutron. They did provide some of the products in this review for the purpose of this review, but if they were trash, I wouldn't be creating a video around these products. Also, I wouldn't have purchased with my own money some of those I'll be talking about as well. One of the things I really like about Lutron products is their Casita line of home automation tools. The first product I'm talking about, I bought myself from Lowe's. I've found their wall plate switches to be more reliable than standalone smart light bulbs and more versatile. You can install one of these dimmer switches or paddle switches on any wall, then buy regular dimmable LED bulbs to place in your fixtures. These even work with ceiling fans, which is where I have my switch hooked up to. Yep, a switch that my ceiling fan is connected to. The difference I've found is that some bulbs can become disconnected, those smart Wi-Fi bulbs, from time to time from the hub or your Wi-Fi router if they're far from it. Heck, yeah, it's happened to me even when they were close to it. But since these wall switches get power from your electrical wiring that's already in your walls, they seem to be more reliable. I've never had this switch disconnect. It's been responsive and reliable every single time. This is just one part of setting the mood though. Once you have this switch installed or multiple switches, it now becomes easier to control all of the hardwired lights. Maybe you have recessed ceiling lights or sconces on your walls, but it's easier to control all those lights via voice from your preferred home assistant, Amazon, Google, Apple HomeKit, or from the Lutron app, or from one of these handy Lutron Pico remotes. Again, this versatility is one of the reasons I'm using Lutron for this demo. They really have this down. These switches with remote will cost you $70, but I'd upgrade to the $99 version, which comes with Lutron's Smart Hub. This is what will give you the connection to all of your home devices, and when you factor in being able to buy less expensive LED bulbs than the smart light or RGB bulbs, the cost actually balances out and you may come out on top. These were all Lutron had when I was looking, but they now have the Diva Smart Dimmer Switch and the Claro Smart Switch, which are a few dollars cheaper and replace your current in-wall paddle switches. So that's controlling your hardwired lights to help set the mood. But what about plugins, your lamps, floor lamps, or RGB lights and lighting strips? I talked about these at length in the video I linked to in the comments. These Casita dimmer smart plugs allow you to plug in 2 lamps and completely control their on and off and dim. Again, you can control all of this from multiple voice assistants, the app, and an optional Pico remote. These are pricier than some smart plugins, coming in at $45, but they are also among the most versatile of the smart plugins. The 2 lights you plug into these smart plugs aren't independently controlled, so keep that in mind. Between these 2 products, You can control all of the lights in your home theater room to help you set the right mood for your recreational viewing. But what about controlling the light outside of your home? No, I'm not going to show you how to become God. But as the king or queen of the castle, Lutron can bestow this power upon you so you don't have any distracting glares on your TV screen and so you can dim the overall amount of light in the room. I began this video talking about MTV Cribs. They would have these automated homes with automated shades, and that always seemed like something only the wealthy could truly afford. But Lutron actually has an affordable line of smart shades and blinds, which can not only help you set the mood for binging all weekend, but help you control natural light in your home and control heat during hot summers. Lutron sent me the Serena shades to try out, and they didn't disappoint. If this is something you're interested in, going through their site, they can send you swatches so you can check out the exact colors and fabrics on offer to make sure they're a match for your current decor, and there are quite a few. This is important, getting those colors and fabrics right the first time, since you're going to be measuring your window spaces and they'll be producing shades to fit those exact specs. I'm terrible at this, by the way, but thanks to the interwebs, I was able to properly use a measuring tape, figuring out all those hash marks, converting them to the proper fractions, and provide Lutron with the exact measurements they needed to prepare this review unit. You would think installation would be the harder part, but taking precise measurements actually took me longer than the install itself. Putting together a computer I'm good at. Building things around the house, a bit less so. But I was able to take down the atrocious vertical blinds in my apartment and put up these Lutron Architectural Honeycomb shades in a matter of minutes. Well, once I had the right tools. They come boxed up really neatly and with excellent instructions, along with complimentary installation videos on their YouTube channel. At first, I didn't have the right tools, but I had some that I thought would be satisfactory alternatives. I've raised my own children on the saying, the right tool for the right job. Well, with these tools, it took me almost 40 minutes to install just one bracket into the window frame. Well, I'm no fool and I don't have a lot of time, and I knew that the 3 tools I was missing would likely cost me only 20 bucks or so. So I went to the Lowe's that's just a couple minutes from my home and bought them. Once I used the right tools they recommended in their instructions, by the way, I had the other brackets up in about 5 minutes total. Once I had the brackets in the frame, I just mounted the shades per the instructions and Bob's your uncle. Last thing was to plug up the shades. I opted for the AC powered plug-in version instead of the battery operated ones. Once they were plugged in, it was time to wirelessly connect them to the Lutron app by tapping a button in the center on top of the shades. Now, one component you'll need to make all this work, like I mentioned earlier in the video, is Lutron's Smart Hub. The shades connect to the Smart Hub, and that allows you to control them using Amazon, Apple HomeKit, Google Assistant, several other home automation systems. If this, then that. They can connect to Sonos, all kinds of things. So now that I had them connected to the app, I set them to automatically open and close with the sunrise and sunset. But getting back to streaming, you can also create a scene in the Lutron app, which with the phrase spoken to Alexa, Siri, or Google, can dim your lights, turn on an RGB backlight to your TV, and shut the shades to set that streaming mood, or any other mood you may want to set. Since these are in my dining room, I opted for the honeycomb fabric, which they call light filtering, as they allow soft light to stream through during the day, but along with the variety of colors and styles, you can also opt for blackout versions of their shades, which have aluminum built into the fabric so that they're not only able to block light, but be reflective and keep a room cooler during warmer months. One of the coolest parts of the shades, I've been kind of geeking out over this, is they know what halfway is. I know, I'm easily amused. But when I tell the Amazon assistant to open or close the shades halfway they go. And like the other Lutron products, these will work via your voice assistant or the Pico remote or the app. There's levels to this. The only downside to going with the AC powered shades is having to hide the cord. With battery power, this isn't a problem, but I chose the hassle of figuring out cord hiding over keeping up with battery changes, however infrequent they may be. So that's that. That is controlling the light, that is being the god of your own home and controlling the weather, lighting, whatever, Bruce Almighty reference not included. I hope I was able to turn on the lights for you and get you thinking more about home automation and lighting control specifically for your streaming and binge watching moments. If you have any questions about anything I talked about in this video, please go ahead and leave those in the comments below. I'll get to them. Love chatting with you all. I will catch you on the next video.